Man, wish I could mow my lawn. Wait a second, it's mow day. Today's the day. Wow. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. Woo! Today is mowing day. Oh yeah, I'm keen. So keen. So today is day 25. Mega due for a mow. If you guys on Facebook that are giving me a little bit of cheeky banter on there, saying I need to mow it already, well, today's the day. This is Wednesday today. This video will be out on Saturday, so you guys won't get to see this for another couple of days. I won't be posting any photos on Facebook or anything, but dang. She's nice and long. You can even see my footprints in the background from where I've been walking, so she's definitely ready for a mow. I don't know why I'm calling it a she. She or a he, I don't know. It's grass. But anyway, so as we can see, looking good, couple of thin areas, but time to get that mower on there. Just pulled this drain off. There's grass growing inside that drain. Man, grass everywhere. Now before we get into any mowing, let me just show you guys how the lawn is looking. So let's just get a shot from over here. Still a bit squishy in some spots, but you know, that's why we're using the rodeo mower as well, because it's a little bit lighter than that cylinder mower. So, behind me, look at that boy. Woohoo! She's looking good. Now there are a couple of thin spots still, which you guys all know about. They've had a bit of germination in them, but I think I'm going to put some more seed down in those areas as well, and hand water those areas, because the sprinklers just don't seem to be hitting every single area, which is a bit of a bummer because I've got an irrigation system, but sometimes that's just the way it rolls. So there'll probably be a bit more overseeding going on. I might even overseed after I've mown this and give it another fertilise, just to really get the lawn nice and thick before those winter chills start hitting. Alrighty, so today we're going to use the rodeo mower, not the real mower that I got recently, because for starters it doesn't cut tall enough, and also it's been sent away at the moment to actually get sharpened, so I don't really have the real mower here to use. So we're going to be using the rodeo mower. We just want to nip off 1/3 of the leaf, so we don't want to nip off any more than that, otherwise we can actually stress out the grass. So there's some areas that are about 100 mil in height, so those areas I might have to go a little bit below that, just because I want to get it down a little bit lower, because some areas are really tall, like I said, 100 mil, and then some areas are only like, I would say, an inch. So I'm probably going to cut it down to around about 50 mil, or 2 inches for those guys that are in America. Now I have had the water off this since yesterday morning, so it is safe to actually back off your watering now, because you're not trying to get any grass seed to germinate. All the stuff that I put down has germinated, so we're going back to more of a normal watering schedule, still sort of keeping the water up to it a bit, because we have some hot days here and there, so once every 2 days, maybe once every 1 day, it just depends on the temperatures that you're having. We had frost yesterday, believe it or not, which is absolutely nuts for orange. It's only March, we've got frost, what the flip. But anyway, cut back your watering when all your seeds germinated, and if it's getting this long too, like mine, day 25, you can almost go back to a normal watering regime. But you just got to really assess the situation, assess how the lawn looks. Remember, when it's starting to go blue or grey, that's when it needs some water. So look at how it's going. You'll be really careful with seed and new grass, because it can wilt a lot quicker. So you just got to have a keen eye, and look at how your lawn's looking. Let me show you an example of some of the thin spots too. So let's just flip the camera around. So look, she's looking pretty thick there, and we come across, it's a little bit thin just through here, a little bit thin just there, and then up against that shed there, bit thin there, and then a bit thin in some of these corners. And you can tell they're spots that the sprinklers aren't quite reaching as well. But as I've said so many times, with perennial ryegrass, easy to get to germinate, not too hard, so it's going to be an easy fix. Alright, enough blabbing, let's get in the shed and get ready for this mower. So today we're going to be using the Icatcha just here. We're not going to mulch just because we don't really want to cover up the new seedlings, etc. because there is still some seedlings that are still quite short. So we'll use the catcher and pick up the clippings. Take the DIY striper off there because we do not need to stripe this lawn quite yet. Not going to get too keen because I've got to be really careful when I'm turning around because you can still rip seeds out. Hence another reason why we're using the rotary mower. One last quick thing before we do start mowing is make sure that your blades are sharp. I gave mine a sharpen the other day with the flapper disc on the grinder, but make sure they're sharp. If you've got a real mower, make sure it's sharp as well because you don't want to be tearing those brand new baby seedlings. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, time to oh my goodness, we are done skidded. Look at that. Now my stripes aren't very straight. As you can see, wasn't really focusing on the straightness of my stripes today. But mate, turned out really well. Now I did go a little bit lower in some spots than I should have. I cut off more than a third of the leaf, but we sort of just had to do that so the rest of it actually got a cut as well. Oh bro, look at that. Magical. Now, as you can see, a couple of thin areas. Doesn't matter, we'll fix that. Now, it was a little bit wet in some spots, so as you can see over here, we got a little bit of clumping because the grass was wet in some areas. So I'm gonna go around with a rake now and rake up all those areas that have quite a few clumps in them, which is alright, not hard to do. It's just because I don't want them sitting on top so they smush the grass underneath. Now, yeah, results look pretty good. So I'll show you the back, the side and the front, how they all turned out. Look at it. Yeah. Wowzers. So in the end I ended up cutting the lawn at about 50 mil, 2 inches, and it turned up really, really well. In those thick areas obviously it sort of struggled, the mower did a bit because it's so thick and tall, but end result looks magnificent. So with mowing like this as well, when you are mowing, when you are starting to a gradual mowing routine, from now on we can start mowing it like you usually would. So I'm actually going to mow it probably again at this height one more time, and after that I'm going to start bringing it down bit by bit. So on my Toro mower there's only one more height underneath this, so I'll probably go to that height next after I've done my next mow, and then I'm going to start using the real mower. So get ready for some straps with the real mower. Ooh, man, there's some chlorophyll in this grass. Check out my hands. Nasty. So I'm about to do some whipper snipping. A bit more whipper snipper. Anyway, I've got no cord left, so I've only got little strands like this, so hopefully I can get around with just these around the yard. I wouldn't be able to stand having sections cut and not cut, so hopefully we can do it. I'm going to Bunnings in a minute. You ever tried to improvise with whipper snipper cord before? I know a bloke that did it with wire once. Woo, not a good idea. Let's try some duct tape and put some 2 bits together. Let's see how this turns out. Alright, so while we're waiting for some whipper snipper cord from my next door neighbour. Thanks mate, you're a ledge. I'll just talk about a couple of things. So I did go a little bit low on some sections, so I didn't scalp them, I just cut it a bit lower than a third of the leaf off, like against the house just there, where it seemed to grow like crazy. So that was about 100 mil, and now we've cut down to 50 mil. So some areas were cut a little bit more than you should have. That's against the rule book, what are you doing, Ben? No, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's looking good. I'm gonna give it a fertilizer after this as well, and water it in so it kicks back really well. Now always make sure you make friends with your neighbours, so if you need anything like whipper snipper cord or just anything, they can always give it to you. Oh, here he is. There he is, the legend. Right, let's give that another go. Man. Alrighty, so whippersnipping and edging done. I love a good edge. Check out this edge. It's not quite top notch, but it's getting there. Oh yes. Alright, so last step for today is to do the fertilising. So I'm using that stuff again from the 2-spec stuff from Globe Growing Solutions, just because I've got some left over from when I seeded. So that is a controlled release fertiliser, so it's not going to push too much growth on the lawn because we don't want too much when it's this young. Something nice and safe. I would never recommend using urea on a new lawn just because it's a little bit risky. You can do it, but a lot of potential of burning. So I always like to fertilise after my first mow, so that's why we're doing it. Alrighty, so our fertiliser's here. Anyway, so our fertiliser is here, so we're going to make a start now. Now I'm only putting out the half the dose of what I normally put out, so I think it's about 2 kilos normally per 100 square metres, so I'm only putting out 1 kilo per 100 square metres, just to be safe on the new turf. You go full rate, but I just like to be a little bit more safe. So let's just fertilise. Alrighty, we are all done. Not going to do anything else now today. I was going to seed, but it's getting a bit late. It's dinner time. Got to spend some time with the fams. Anyway, how good does it look in this light? Oh man, look at that boy. I'm going to look at the back just for the sake of it. Man, look at that. So nice and luscious. So keen for it to thicken up and start using that real mower. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching that video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you have not already. Like that video if you learned something new, and you have a good week. Oh. So nice.